Hi everyone, Kim Van Duren here, and I'm here to kick off Module 1 for Ethics 610 and share with you my personal credo. So when I reflect on the origins of my core beliefs, it really comes down to probably 4 or 5 key moments in my life that I believe have shaped who I am today. The first of those moments was being raised by a single mom. My dad actually passed away when I was 4 years old, very unexpectedly in a plane crash, of all things. And that left both my brother, who was 2 at the time, myself that was 4, my older sister who was 13, and then my oldest sister who was 17, being raised by our mom. I think in any situation that can be significant trauma for a woman to go through, let alone being left with 4 children and not really knowing what to do or how to navigate. The example that really stood out to me from that has helped define, I think, a lot of who I am is that my mom had a career. So she was actually an emergency room nurse. And thanks to her having a career, she was really able to keep the entire family together. And through a series of other significant traumas, I would say in the next 5 years, she was strong, she held us together, and I was raised in a very loving household. So that has certainly transpired into my marriage that I have with my husband and raising our daughter and our soon-to-be little one that is due this August. So that moment, as I shared, really showed me the importance and reinforced the importance of family. And in addition to that, I grew up in Anchorage, Alaska. And some people may be like, oh, Anchorage, that's kind of weird. My parents always had a dream of moving there. So they slowly made their way from Missouri up to Oregon and then to Washington. And then my brother and I were born in Alaska. Growing up in Alaska, I had the opportunity to live with and grow up with the same core group of people my entire life. At the time, people didn't really move out of Alaska because it cost too much money. So the friends that I had and the friends that I still have actually are from elementary school, which I think is actually pretty fascinating and pretty amazing at the same time. We're, 30 years in and still as close as can be. It allowed me to grow up in this inclusive community. Growing up, there were no differences. I didn't grow up in a world where people called out differences or because you looked different or talked different. So that inclusivity really, I think, shaped how I have grown up as an adult and how I am intentionally raising our daughter. So fast forward to another moment in my life, I think that really helped define my core beliefs and who I am as a person. I went on my first visit to go visit my grandmother who lived in St. Louis, Missouri. This goes back to one of those core moments in my life of inclusivity. And I had just returned from a vacation in Mexico and had my hair put in braids. And when I showed up at my grandmother's, not knowing anything about the Midwest, not knowing anything about the South, the first thing she said when she opened the door, when she saw me, was a very inappropriate word and asked me why my hair looked like a little African-American girl, and obviously a different word that I will never say. And that moment has really stuck with me. I must have been about 10 years old or so, and I have never forgotten it. And, I don't mean any ill will towards my grandmother. I don't honestly in my core believe that she was a racist, but that was the life that she had grown up in, and that was part of her vernacular, and it was just normal. And to me, it is very abnormal. And I've tried my entire adult life, and not even necessarily trying, but have worked my entire adult life to not have those words be part of my vocabulary. The third kind of moment that stands out to my life is when I was in 7th grade, and I happened to talk a lot when I was growing up and always got in trouble in school for it. But there was this one particular moment with a teacher where she pulled me outside of the classroom because she was obviously very frustrated that I was talking in class or passing notes, what normal 7th graders do. And she looked at me in the hallway and she told me, "I hate you, Kim. I hate you, and I hate when you talk in my class." And it was really the first time that hate had been directed at me. And I don't know where I got the gall to reply to her or say anything to her, and I have no idea how I was even truly smart enough to say this to her. But I looked at her and I said, "Do you really hate me? Because that's a strong word," or something to that effect. And I followed it by saying, you may strongly dislike me, but hate is a really powerful word. And that has, again, stuck with me my entire life. You're 13 years old, I think, in 7th grade. And I don't allow that word in our house, though I will say my daughter has sprinkled it in because she hates soap. But hate as towards another person or towards an opinion is not accepted by me. So those are just 3 examples in my life that I believe have shaped who I am today. Obviously, there's a lot more, but those 3 really stand out the most and have really helped me define what my core beliefs are. So my core beliefs, I would say, are empathy, kindness, inclusiveness, always treating others how you want to be treated, zero judgment, absolutely never using the word hate or any other negative word towards a person. I believe that it is super important and critical to educate yourself. Being uninformed is not a good thing, and you owe it to yourself to go out and explore all of the viewpoints and then figure out where you align in those viewpoints. I absolutely do not stand for racism, sexism, bigotry, and hate talk. Those are 4, things in my life that it's zero tolerance for. The assignment asked us to narrow down even further from this list. And for me, I believe it would be going back to ensuring that you're always kind to people, that you remain very inclusive. Being exclusive is not okay at all. I wouldn't even say it's tolerable. It's just not okay. Absolutely never using the word hate or using a word that you try to define or stereotype someone with. And finally, I would say just ensuring that you educate yourself. This idea of bigotry and intolerance towards people that hold different views than you, that's an excuse in my book. If you're choosing to be a bigot, then you're choosing not to inform yourself. And that's, I believe, a huge travesty, honestly. So those are my core beliefs. I look forward to hearing what everyone else's core beliefs are and the origins of those beliefs and what's shaped you to be people. I'm excited to be in this class and kind of explore this world of ethics. So here's to an awesome next 8 weeks. Talk to you guys soon.